Honorable, what is your opinion on this year's budget?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's a quite a good budget, a good speech by the Minister. We really appreciate some of the proposals made. For example, the proposals on tax reform, I think we appreciate that. The increase on the old age pension, $50 is not a lot, but it's something. Then of course the increase on the sun tax. I think that is also good. We do have some questions on some of the allocations, for example the Ministry of Defence and some others, but when the debate starts on Thursday, we'll then encourage the relevant ministers and get the answers from them.
What were your expectations of the 2018 to the 19 budget?
Yeah, we were expecting to see, an increase in, for example, health. We do have a problem with our health services. We need a bigger allocation to make sure that our health system is not falling apart. I also wanted to see a bigger allocation when it comes to urban and rural development. The land servicing program has failed. In order for us to provide affordable land to the poor people, we need to put money into the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development to make sure that this money goes to the respective local authorities to enable them to provide affordable land. And that was the amount allocated to urban and rural development is really little. So it's not going to solve our biggest problem.
Honorable Jang Van Wyk, thank you for speaking to us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Murorwa, what is your opinion on this year's budget?
Well, my personal opinion is that it is a budget that we can only survive by. I do not see great prospects unless other increments are going to be made. Because if you look at the allocations that were done, and in my opinion, the one of the sectors that would have, in my opinion, received a better allocation is the sector of health. Looking at what they have received, it's a 6.5 billion that they have received, and together within what they have received is combined the same as allocation which has been made also. My understanding is that they are more or less in the same position as they were last year, and development in that sector of health will be very minimal, and that is, in my opinion, bringing us back to square one where we were. One would like to see the situation improving at our hospitals, the availability of medicines and everything, medications, as compared to what it was last year. So I think and the other thing that the minister has also mentioned is that he has said that we have to strive for sustainability within our enterprises, the government parastatals. But at the same time, he also mentioned that it is through conniving between the private sector, SMEs, the entrepreneurs, and the public servants who are representing the government, that, for example, the project of the Hosea Kutako Airport has increased in double. That is telling us that government is aware what took place. But up until today, we do not hear in any newspaper of what was done to address this situation and which of the public servants is guilty of that. But they know what happened from the speech of the minister.
Honorable Dudumurua, thank you for talking to us.
My pleasure.
Honorable Nico Smith, what is your opinion on this year's budget?
Well, on face value, it doesn't look bad. But we need to analyze it properly, to take it apart, to see exactly what it entails before one can be in a position to make a proper comment. So that's why I have adjourned this debate till next week, to give me ample time to study it, and then to address next Thursday. You know, the budget from my perspective. Yeah.
So what were your expectations for this year's budget?
Well, I thought that we will do better, you know, for the real poor people. For instance, if you look at the budget, the allocations, that safety and security and defense, they are getting, I think, around about 11 billion, which is just a little less than what education is getting. So I think that is far too much. We don't need to spend that type of money, you know, on safety and security and defense. That is a total overspend. I think that money can be used far better, especially to improve the living conditions of our poor people and also our young people. To use that money to service more land, more urgently, and also to subsidize the poor people in getting land. Because you can't call yourself a Namibian if you don't owe a piece of Namibia. We must make our people proud. So I think if we can service more land, make more land available, it will also bring more sort of peace and stability in the country, because a hungry person and a person without a job and a person who have to stay in poverty, you know, that breeds contempt and that breeds unhappiness. So I think we must sort that out. And also the Ministry of Poverty and Education, I really think we don't need a ministry like that. That 3 billion that's been allocated to them could rather be used to create jobs with. Because we must stop making our people beggars. That is what that ministry is doing. Turn our people into beggars. Every end of the month you must go and stand in a queue to get a bag of maize meal. Rather create a job so that the person can work and earn a living for himself. Because if you keep on feeding a person, how will he get out of that situation? Make it possible, create jobs, and then to hand out. We know with this handout of foods, all these years it was just during election time, only a trick of SWAPO, you know, to make sure that the people are, and they've used it to bribe people to vote for them. So I'm scared, you know, that this ministry, come next year, the same thing will happen. If you don't carry a SWAPO card, if you don't have this or don't have that, yeah, you will not get any further food. You see, that is the problem. It happened in the past. There's ample evidence to that. And yeah, to me, it's not a healthy situation.
Honorable Nico Smith, thank you for talking to us.